everybody, and welcome to this tutorial. Here I will show you how to install and set up Wireshark. Before I begin the installation process itself, let me just say a few words about the environment that I'm using. So my operating system is Linux, to be more precise, Fedora 20. It is a 64-bit system, so you will see how this comes into play when we go into packets. So I'm just going to exit root mode to make a point here, and I'm going to clear the screen. In Fedora, which is a Red Hat based distro, we have a yum, which is basically your installation manager. That's the best explanation I can give for it. And we go ahead and type in search Wireshark, and every package within the repositories that are to be used that has Wireshark name in it, be it in the actual name of the package or in the description of the package, will be displayed here. You can go ahead and skip these things immediately. So you see development headers and libraries. We don't actually need that, we need the program itself. So down below we have Wireshark for 32-bit architectures and for 64-bit architectures. If you're not sure which one you are using, you can just type in uname -all, and here you go. Just look for this one or for this one here. So Linux localhost, local domain, kernel, Fedora 20, and here we go. x86_64. No problems. Now we know for sure that it is a 64-bit system, and I'm just going to go ahead and begin the installation process. But I am going to install Wireshark GNOME, even though I am using a KDE desktop. There's GNOME desktop, there's KDE desktop, and there are a ton of other desktops for Linux distros. I have found out that these two have some serious problems in them. I mean, they don't work well with Fedora in any case. So just go ahead and grab this one, copy it, and go ahead and type yum install and paste this. Oops, what has happened here? It says you need to be root to perform this command. So as I said previously, I exited root deliberately, just to show you that you need to be root or have such permissions as a regular user. So you need to be a super user or something of a kind in order to be able to perform any sort of installation from the repositories on the system. Just go ahead and type su. You can also type sudo su. I don't know, depends on the distro that you're using. I just type in su and type in the password. There we go. I'm just going to change the directory, not that that makes any difference, but I did anyway. Clear the screen and go ahead and type again yum install Wireshark. No, I don't actually need to type it. I have it here. So just going to paste it, enter, and it's going to begin the installation process. It's going to give you a ton of information, but I wanted to stop it here for a reason. I didn't give it the -y command to go ahead and skip through this. So you can see that it is installing Wireshark GNOME, and it is automatically installing for its dependencies as well. So just type in Y here, press enter, and the installation process will go ahead. While this is happening, just in case you are using some other distribution or something of a kind, or a different operating system, so just gonna clear the screen out here, and in case you're using a Debian based distribution, you would type a command that looks like this. So apt-get install and then the name of the package, like Wireshark. I think if you just type in Wireshark, it's gonna find by default the one that you need, especially in Ubuntu if I'm not mistaken. But in case you're not using Linux, in case you're using Windows, you need to go out to the web, type in, well, I'm just gonna type it in here. I have no idea why, but just a habit, I suppose. Wireshark. Go ahead and search for it and see what comes out. So the first one is the official website. Go ahead, visit it. Let me just expand this across the screen. So the website is www.wireshark.org. And on their website you have a ton of stuff. I mean, you even have some videos here and stuff of a kind, but most important, even books. But most importantly of all, as I wanted to say, is the download button. So you press the download, and there you go. You have Windows installer, 2 of them for 62 and 32-bit versions, and you even have like portable apps. Wireshark is a portable app. Have it for OS X, etc. If you are uncertain, I mean, a lot of people out there will scream at me for saying this, but if you are uncertain which architecture do you have, is it 32-bit or 64-bit, and you don't know how to check it in a specific point at a specific point of time, even though you can just go online and type in how do I check the architecture on pretty much any operating system out there, but in case you're lazy and you don't want to find out or you don't know how, you can always install 32-bit versions and they should work 99% guaranteed. The process does not work vice versa. 32-bit can work on 64-bit, but 64-bit cannot work on 32-bit. This what I've just said does not just apply to Wireshark. This is in general. So pretty much for all the applications out there. I'm going to go ahead and close this browser. I do believe that the installation process is complete. Yep, there we go. So we get a lot of information here along with the installation process. So is installing this, and verifying the installation. So it says installed Wireshark GNOME and dependencies installed Wireshark x86-64. So you do need the GNOME part in all of this. Anyway, we're going to start up the Wireshark, but we're going to start it as root. Now, why is root? Why can't we just start it as a regular program from an ordinary user? Well, you basically can. You need to extensively configure it, but even so, you will be prompted for a root password, and some of the services that run in the background that you don't actually notice will have to run as root. Generally, some people claim that it's a security issue, but I mean, if you are the only person that's going to use that computer, if this is your computer, obviously you're not going to do any sort of shenanigans or anything like that. And just go ahead and start it as root, and don't worry about a thing. So Wireshark, just start it. It's an open source application, so you know that there is nothing, even though you probably cannot understand the code, you can rest assured that there is nothing malicious in it, primarily because pretty much everybody out there can see it. So certainly there would be somebody out there screaming if there was something wrong with it. Anyway, there you go. Wireshark is installed and ready to be used. I'm just gonna go ahead and start a live capture to do a small demonstration before I wrap this up. So we have, look at the amount of interfaces it has recognized on my computer. So we have Bluetooth, I don't know which ones are these, but anyway, this is for the virtual. You can even capture traffic from your USB. Unfortunately, my laptop has only three USB, so I have to use extensions, etc. So you even have an option to listen on any of these interfaces. So if you don't know, or if you don't want to bother finding out which interface you are using, through which interface are you connected to the net, you can just listen on all of them, and whatever traffic comes, you can capture it. But I don't really recommend that. If you're troubleshooting an issue, or if you are really looking for something specific, there are uses for this option. But what I generally like to do is simply go ahead, open up my terminal. This is one method that you can use, but there's another one which I will show in a moment. So just go ahead and type in ifconfig, press enter, and as before, you have a list of interfaces here. I know that I'm using P8P1 wired interface primarily because my network cable is plugged in and my wireless router is turned off for the moment, so I can't even connect to it even if I wanted to. So you can see I don't have an IP address assigned here. This virtual interface, this is just for traffic from virtual machines. None of them are up and running. I know that it's not loopback because that's only for local communication. That's only for local things on the computer itself. And you can see that the internet address has been assigned. You have a netmask, you have a broadcast. Down here you have numbers. These values are not empty, so packets are passing through this, but a much easier way to figure out which interface you are actually using would be to go to your local network manager. Mine is in upper right corner. Just open it up and you can immediately see it says P8, P1 connected, active connections, in the active connection list. And down below you have available connections to which I'm not connected. Where your network manager is, it really depends how you've configured your desktop. By default, I do believe that it's in bottom right corner, and you can click on it, open it, but I'm sure you won't have any problems finding it. That's the easy part. Anyway, once we know that, once we figured out which interface we're using and where do we want to capture traffic, we just find it here. So there we go, P8, P1. One key thing to note, if you're using some other distro, for example a Debian-based distro or something of a kind, you're probably going to have markations such as these for your interfaces, ETH0 and ETH1. Naming conventions are not the same, so yeah, that can be a bit confusing, but no problems, you'll still be able to figure it out. The names won't be exactly as mine are, but you'll still be able to figure it out just by looking at it. ETH0 usually represents the wired connection, and ETH1 wireless connection, as far as I've seen anyway. It doesn't have to be the case, but usually is. Just check it out, see it, and as a final resort you have your network manager where you can be absolutely certain. So P8, P1, you click on it, you mark it, it needs to turn blue. It needs to turn blue like this, and there is this green glowing shark tail in upper left corner. When you go over it with a mouse, it says start new live capture, and that is exactly what we shall do at this point of time. Just click on it and we should start getting in packets any moment now. There we go. So in the next tutorial I will explain the features of Wireshark, so what these buttons are doing, what you can do with these menus, what is where, but most importantly of all, this will be our working space. This is where it says filter. This is where we shall apply various filters to basically seclude portions of traffic or to only get certain kinds of traffic. Because look at this now. I mean, you're getting all sorts of information, all sorts of protocols coming in on all ports, and it's just chaos. This is basically, one could interpret this as white noise because you cannot distinguish relevant information. But what you can do is apply filters and then see what you want to see, or see segments of that. Just before I finish, I just want to show you. So look, it's installed, it's set up, it's running, everything's fine, it's working, but if you install it for the first time, this issue can arise. So this bar, or this window, let me just try to grab it. There we go. Come on, come with me. Up, there we go. It climbs up all the way to the top. So your first Wireshark can look like this. This lower window is completely expanded and it's blocking the upper one, so you can't see it. And you might think, oh man, there's an error, or I didn't do the installation in a proper way, or something of a kind. It took me about 20 minutes to figure it out, a bit of an annoying thing. Basically, just pull it down. That's it. I don't know, a bit of an annoying thing. I think it's fixed with updates, but it tends to happen from time to time, and you don't know what's wrong with it. You just need to like tamper with it a little bit and then figure it out. That would be it. I thank you for your time, and I bid you farewell till next tutorial.